Hey, welcome to Life in the God Lane. I'm Tom West, and this is that YouTube channel where we just do one thing. We teach the Bible, and I'm giving you a power verse from the 25th chapter of Proverbs, verse 8. And it's an important power verse, and this is a power verse for Wednesday, July 13th, 2022, Proverbs 25:8, and I call it Don't Rush into Court. Now, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so you get notified every time I put one of these out. Subscribe, really helps me. I need to get my subscriptions going. And share this video with someone else. Give me thumbs up, make comments. It helps me get it out to more people. Proverbs 25, verse 8, and it says this: What you have seen with your eyes, do not bring hastily to court. For what will you do in the end if your neighbor puts you to shame? This is a warning about not rushing into court when you think you've seen something that builds a case that you have. Don't rush into court when you see something that you think can, win a case for you. This is the person who says, I have seen the evidence with my own two eyes, and I will win the case in court. I'm taking you to court. So they sue or they report to the authorities so as to give evidence that proves their case. King Solomon poses the ultimate question. What will you do in the end if your neighbor puts you to shame? What he's saying is, don't rush into this. Slow down and think before you go to court. I was pastor of the Christian Church in Lemon Grove, California from 1980 to 1992. Back in 1984, late 84, we began plans to build an education building and put in a parking lot with a couple hundred parking spaces. We needed the space. We were growing. We ended up close to a year in hearings before the City Planning Commission and then before the City Council, because everything was contested and taken to court and stuff. The church had owned the property since 1968. Now we're into 1985. But some of the neighbors had organized to stop our plans because they felt that it would devalue their property, which was probably nonsense. It was nonsense. At the hearing, one neighbor gave testimony that a girl, and the church is directly across the street from grade school, directly across the street. And so this neighbor gave testimony that a girl had been hit by a car on the street, and on the street that ran by the church and the school. She'd been hit by this car out in front. And her argument was that a larger church would result in more traffic and more kids getting hit and run over in the street. She left the impression with her testimony that it happened right in front of the church and the school. I signed up to testify next. I explained when I got up to testify that I was driving and I saw this little girl get hit, stopped my car, got out, and I gave her first aid in the street until the paramedics showed up. Then I explained where the accident happened. It was on the other side of a main road called Massachusetts Avenue, over half a mile from the school and the church. Wasn't anywhere close to the school or the church. Our neighbor who testified was flashing red with embarrassment. She was put to shame because her testimony was bogus. Later that evening, the city council voted unanimously to approve our project. Be careful about rushing into court with a story. Make sure that you slow down and think before you go to court. It would have done her well to do that. Bless your heart. Hope that's a good lesson, and I will talk to you tomorrow.